So a lot of companies are using Web 2.0. How are they doing so? And how do they expect to do so in the coming 2 years? The really interesting thing I found about this research is that today, using Web 2.0 to create online communities and to use collaboration to get innovation, those are two very popular things today, and in 2 years' time, they will still be very popular. But today, the most popular use of Web 2.0 tools is blogs and wikis, but in 2 years' time, it's going to be the least popular, and mashups are going to take over. So if you're looking for something to focus on in the future, you might want to remember that. So what are the effects on the big businesses of some of these online technologies? For using the web as a platform for sharing and collaboration, folks said that this is going to have the biggest impact on business models, as well as how companies interact both with their customers, but also with their internal staff. Search is going to be impacting the information and opinions that are available about a company. And as some of you have probably already experienced, it's also going to shift the balance of power between companies and their customers. They've got access to more data, so they've got a little bit more power. And then the use of the web to turn customers into partners is going to have a big impact on how the company is viewed, but also the way in which customers interact with each other. Now, we said at the beginning that nearly 4/5 of survey takers felt that Web 2.0 was going to boost their bottom line. How so? Most importantly, folks expect to increase customer acquisition with Web 2.0 tools, and they also expect to innovate much better, to do a better job with innovation. On the other side, in terms of reducing costs, folks are expecting to have a reduction in customer service costs and also public relations and marketing costs. Again, some of you have probably already experienced this. What I found very intriguing is that the cost of innovation is also going to be reduced. And so that to me sounds a really great sweet spot. If you're having trouble with your CFO, point out to him that Web 2.0 tools can not only increase innovation and thereby revenues, but they can also decrease the cost of innovation. So it's definitely a win-win. So who's making the biggest use of Web 2.0 within the companies? The marketing and sales department, customer services, and information and research are the three departments today that are using Web 2.0 tools the most. And then, what are some examples of Web 2.0? We heard the professor talk earlier today about Enterprise 2.0. How are companies using Web 2.0 not only inside with their own staff, but externally? And we found some interesting examples. For community building, for example, Procter & Gamble had recently launched a community site, Peza, which is intended to, it's a women's site, and they're hoping to get information about, more information about products that they can sell through this community site. Plenty of companies are doing blogging, again, to do a better job of interacting with their customers. Companies like General Motors and Global Crossing. JWT, which is the biggest advertising agency in the United States, I found very interesting because they're one of the companies that's using Web 2.0 very actively, both externally with customers, but also internally. And they built some of their own tools, very much like Basecamp from 37 Signals. And they are using those tools to navigate sort of the knowledge centers within their company. And then Citigroup is using wikis. When they've got a really challenging project that they're working on, lots of terminology, lots of processes, they use wikis to overcome that challenge. So how do you succeed at Web 2.0? We have some really interesting tips on that in the paper. Here are just, again, a sneak preview of a few highlights. If you do have trouble with your CFO, well, then you've got to make a business case and you've got to talk his language, his or her language. The same way that you would evaluate any new business trend. What are the risks? What are the profits? Figure those things out and present it that way. Bridge the generation gap. This is something that Tim O'Reilly mentioned. When you think about it, folks that were born, say, in the 80s that are coming into the workforce today, they were raised with the internet. So they're hardwired for Web 2.0 things. So you should have some of them on your staff, and as Tim says, be prepared to learn from them. borrow what you can't build. We heard earlier that the IT department is short on Web 2.0 skills. So if you can't hire folks to build those things for you internally, partner with somebody else who's already built it. Avoid the hype. Again, we talked about companies that get so involved in the form of Web 2.0 that they forget the substance. And if you don't think that Web 2.0 applies to you, guess again. More than 70% of Americans between the age of 12 and 17 today are online social networkers. And they're going to be customers today and tomorrow and in 10 years. So you really need to understand what they're about. So Web 2.0 was really born in the information technology industry. Lots of scrappy startups were involved with it. Today, it's really an important trend in big business. And as the CIO at Citigroup told me, it's no longer bleeding edge. Today, Web 2.0 is leading edge. So now it's your turn. Thank you so much for your time.